Okay, let's just get right into it. If you think learning how to code today is anything like it was just a few years ago, you're in for a pretty big shock. The entire game has changed, and today we're going to break down the brand new rules for becoming a developer in 2026.
And this really is the harsh truth. The old playbook, the one that worked for me and probably so many others, it's basically obsolete now. That idea of just staring at a screen, grinding through problems all by yourself, that's just not the path anymore.
I mean, just look at the difference here. It's night and day. On one side, you've got the old way. We've all been there, right? A million Stack Overflow tabs open, late nights grinding leet code, and trying to make sense of 10 different YouTube tutorials. But on the other side, you have the new reality. Actually working with AI copilots, learning the art of prompt engineering, and approaching learning in this totally integrated way.
So let's start by digging into the why. Why did this happen? Why are those old rules we all used to live by so completely and totally broken now?
The best way I've heard this explained is with a chemistry analogy. So think about the programming fundamentals, things like Python, data structures, algorithms, as the classic elements, right? Your hydrogen, your oxygen. Well, AI is like this brand new element that scientists just discovered. It doesn't get rid of the old ones, but when you combine it with them, you get these incredible, powerful new reactions.
And that leads us to this, a whole new formula for what a modern developer even is. You take those core fundamentals, your Python, your object-oriented programming, your data structures and algorithms, and you have to add AI to the mix. That combination, that's what's required today. You just can't have one without the other anymore.
Okay, so let's get practical. How do you actually learn to code with this new element in the equation? How do you really use an AI copilot to your advantage?
The secret here is that you have to learn with AI from day one. Don't just piece together random videos. You need a structured course that actually integrates AI workflows right from the beginning. A couple of fantastic options are Andrew Yang's course, which is free and incredibly thorough. There's also the complete AI coding course on Udemy. Or if you really want to go deep, you can't beat Harvard's legendary CS50 Intro to AI with Python. And this points to a really deep shift in mindset. See, the goal isn't just to memorize syntax anymore. The goal is to learn the actual process, the workflow of how professional developers are using these languages with AI to build incredible things way faster than we ever could before. All right, so you're learning a language with AI as your partner. Great. The next step involves two skills that, on the surface, seem like they're from different planets: a super classic computer science topic and a brand new art form.
Let's talk about prompting first. Seriously, forget all the complicated jargon you've heard, because this analogy nails it. Imagine you have a brilliant teammate. If you give them messy, vague instructions, you're going to get a messy, vague result. But if you're clear, if you're specific, you get exactly what you wanted. That's all prompt engineering really is.
And there's a simple but super powerful way to do this called the rule of three. It breaks down any great prompt into three parts. First, the subject. What exactly do you want the AI to talk about? Second, the end result. What do you want it to look like? A list, an email, some code? And finally, the context. What style or tone should it use? Are there any rules it needs to follow? And here's what that actually looks like. A weak prompt, like write about marketing, is basically useless. It gives you nothing. But a strong prompt, well, it defines the subject, a LinkedIn post. It defines the end result, explaining customer trust. And it defines the context. Use a beginner-friendly tone. See? That little bit of structure makes all the difference in the world. Now hold on, because I know what some of you are thinking. Awesome, I'll just use AI so I can totally skip learning data structures and algorithms. Whoa, slow down. That is a huge, huge mistake. AI is an incredible tool to help you learn, but believe me, it is not a shortcut to skip the fundamentals. So what's the new way to learn DSA? Well, you absolutely still take a structured course to get those core concepts down, but now you do it with the coding assistant right there in your editor, giving you instant feedback, explaining things you don't get. The source has the perfect analogy for this. It's like taking a calculus test. You still need to know calculus, right? But you'd be kind of crazy not to use a calculator to speed things up and check your work. But don't get overwhelmed by all the different tools out there. There's a natural progression. When you're a beginner, just stick to the basics. Use ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Think of them like training wheels. Once you're comfortable, then you can graduate to an IDE extension. And only when you're really advanced should you start looking at specialized tools like Cursor. Start simple, build from there.
All right, let's talk about the last big piece of the puzzle. This is the higher level skill that used to be just for senior engineers, but now it's what really separates you from the pack even early on.
This quote right here, it just says it all. As AI starts handling more and more of the simple code generation, our value as humans moves up. It's not about who can type out syntax the fastest anymore. It's about who can understand and design the big picture systems that all that syntax actually builds. So how do you learn this stuff? It's really a two-step dance. First, you learn the theory. The source really recommends NeetCode on YouTube for amazing high-level explanations. But, and this is the critical part, don't get stuck just watching videos. The second step is to immediately get your hands dirty. Spin up an AWS or Azure account and just start building things. Treat all those cloud services like a giant box of Legos. Tinker, experiment, and build some cool projects. So, let's bring this all home. What we've been talking about isn't just a change in what tools you use. It's a complete philosophical shift in what it even means to be a developer.
This table really sums up the whole transformation. The old mindset was all about knowing syntax. The new one is about knowing systems. The old way was grinding through problems alone. The new way is solving those problems with an AI partner. The focus has completely shifted from the individual lines of code to the high-level architecture.
So if you only remember one thing from this entire explainer, let it be this new mantra. Number 1, learn the timeless fundamentals. They aren't going anywhere. Number 2, use these powerful new tools to accelerate that learning. And number 3, focus your human brain power on what you do best: high-level thinking, smart prompting, and creative building.
Because that's really the bottom line, isn't it? The best developers of tomorrow won't just know how to code. They will know how to think, how to prompt, and how to build in collaboration with AI. So the only question left is, are you ready to become one of them?